following program is intended to educate and inform. We discuss cannabis being used as medicine, the culture, science, and controversy of cannabis and cannabis laws. We do not advocate any illegal activity. Moth Networks and their associates do not claim to be lawyers or doctors, nor do they represent themselves as such. All their comments and views are of their own personal opinion and personal experiences. Opinions and claims made by the guests and advertisers on Moth Networks are their own, and all parties agree to the Moth Network use and policy agreement. Moth Network and Moth Network associates cannot be held legally responsible for the statements of the host or of their guests. We encourage all listeners to learn their constitution, to assert their rights, acknowledge their duties, and know their individual state laws.
You are now tuned in to 710 Radio. We are the newest and hottest independent radio station in Colorado and on the internet. The fans named the station. With over 1 million visitors and over 10 million hits. Oh yeah, our website is going bananas. We are the newest and the hottest. This is 710 Radio. 24/7 radio. Stay tuned and tell a friend. The Dabber's Choice. With hot shows 7 days a week.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
What's up, everybody? This is 710 Radio Moth 22.9 in Denver, Colorado. I'm Rick Wainwright.
And I'm Patrick Partri. You listen to Let's Talk About It.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming back in with another bomb track. Think you know what's all of that? Hey, yo, so check this out.
of which are American dreams.
We're on. What's
Hey,
up?
we're back.
We are
Thank you
back.
for joining us. My name is Patrick Partri, and that's the Rick Crane Ride. And this is Let's Talk About It. What's the topic this week, Rick?
Oh, man, we got quite a few topics this week, man. We're going to be talking some military talk. We're going to be talking some big pharma talk. We got some marijuana talk. But, tonight I'm going to start off, there's been some leaked information that came out from the U.S. military. And it's actually quite disturbing. So I'm going to put that out there to you guys that are listening. This show is definitely not going to be the one for the week of art. That's for damn sure. But
Hey, none of our topics are, brother.
right. Well, I'm posting. I'm posting the articles right now, and this first article that I'm posting is by the New York Times, and it's U.S. is outraged and resignation over Afghans' rape of boys. Okay, this is by Matthew Rosenberg. And it was just published here September 21st. But a report describing how American forces looked the other way as powerful Afghans raped boys with impunity. An issue that has long plagued the war effort in Afghanistan. Prompted declarations of outrage in Washington on Monday, but officials said the problem was ultimately for the Afghans to solve.
I read where it said they didn't want to be involved in cultural pedophilia.
Well, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read the story before I start interjecting my opinions.
Yeah, all right.
The Pentagon insisted that it never ordered troops to ignore any kind of rights abuse. But among military personnel and civilians who served in Afghanistan, it was well known that many wealthy and prominent Afghans rape boys, often making them dress up as women and dance at gatherings, during which they were assaulted. And that Western officials often turned a blind eye to the practice for fear of alienating allies. With the bulk of American troops now gone from Afghanistan, the resignation among American officials over a practice that many described as abhorrent was evident on Monday. It seemed to reflect the fact that while the rape of boys may shock foreigners and infuriate Afghans, it is only one of the many problems in Afghanistan. Over the 14 years since the start of the war, the criminality often tolerated inside the Afghan government and security forces, both of which were paid for and nurtured by the United States, has run the gamut from opium smuggling and corruption by Afghan officials to allegations of murder and torture by Afghan soldiers and police officers. In many cases, especially during drug trafficking and corruption, the response from American officials has often been that ordinary Afghans do not view the problems the way Westerners do, and that trying to clean up the Afghan government could well destroy it. Wow. Cases of torture and murder by the Afghan security forces, which have been documented by human rights groups and the news media, have often been overlooked for the fear of undercutting the fight against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda.
Wait, I'm busting up laughing here, man.
Okay.
I'm busting up laughing. So, what they're saying is, we don't want to piss them off so they can fuck little boys and it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm just fucking cracking up.
No, you're fine, man. Okay, so though some Americans have tried to write off the practice of raping boys, which was described in an article in the New York Times on Monday as a cultural difference between Afghans and Westerners, many Afghans say that they too find it shameful and wrong. In fact, the Taliban banned it when in power. But it is rampant among the pro-government commanders who dominate many rural areas of northern Afghanistan and run militias at times team with American-led forces.
Hold on a minute, man. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Now, I've been being told all this Taliban shit is bad for us.
Right?
Well, when the Taliban was in charge, they produced less than 2% of the world producing heroin. And now I'm finding out they stopped them from fucking little boys. Wait a minute. That can't be all that bad, huh?
Right? I mean, at least that's one good thing that they did. Okay, so as a result, the American military long struggled with how to handle cases of child sexual abuse that it encountered. Most often, according to troops who served in Afghanistan, the solution was to ignore the practice. But troops on the front line, who often shared bases with Afghan forces, often bristled when commanders told them to look the other way. The article in the Times described how in 2011, 2 American soldiers beat up an Afghan commander who laughed when confronted with allegations that he raped boys. One of the soldiers was relieved of his command and then left the military, and the other is being forced out. On Monday, American officials said they would never tolerate sexual assaults of boys by Afghan security forces. The United States is deeply concerned about the safety and welfare of Afghan boys who may be exploited by members of the Afghan National Security and Defense Forces, said Josh Earnest, the White House press secretary. This form of sexual exploitation violates Afghan laws and Afghan international obligations. Boy, that one paragraph right there kind of can piss you off after reading that whole thing so far. I mean, there's still quite a bit of this article left. Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. Okay, let me... Captain Jeff Davis, a Pentagon spokesman, called the rapes abhorrent, but insisted there was no policy instructed service members to ignore allegations. Now, we're going to come back to that one, okay? Because I was in the military, okay?
I want to come back to that one as well.
Right, because I was in the military, and I can speak about this, okay? So, I can tell you that there is nothing that would preclude any military member from making reports about human rights violations to their chain of command, Captain Davis said. Ultimately, he said, the problem is fundamentally an Afghan law enforcement matter, and those are reports. That are given over to the Afghan government. Captain Davis said each discussion with the Afghan government would make its way to higher level and get into annual State Department human rights reports to make clear that this practice we find abhorrent. Bullshit. But even if reports are passed on to the Afghan authorities, a number of service members and civilian officials say they rarely are, which I believe. There are little indication the Afghan government has the will or the ability to prosecute men suspected of rape. That left American forces with little resources, and commanders at times instructed their troops not to expect much if they did file a report. International forces have been fighting on 2 fronts, said Graham Smith, an analyst based in Afghanistan for the International Crisis Group. On the one hand, against insurgency, and on the other hand, trying to make their Afghan allies respectable custodians of security. Both those wars haven't always been successful. End of story. Wow.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in that article that I'd like to go over, but, you and I discussed that last week at the end of the show, how many service guys that I get the opportunity to speak to here in Colorado Springs that had spoken about that and told me about that. And then it just so happens this week it all starts coming out. It's kind of strange, but yeah, we're funding and financing pedophilia and we're turning a blind eye to it. Is that any different than the Catholic Church?
No, not really.
Even passively, I feel fucking guilty now, the knowing that tax dollars that we finance is going to fucking for getting these little kids raped.
Right? Right? And being told not to expect much if they did file a report, or as this next article is, a soldier is being punished for interfering in child assault by an Afghan.
The one dude that's a decorated officer, he's being forced to fucking resign over it.
Right. And, I gotta tell you, being in the military at one time in my life, even though it was many, many moons ago, I was in a unit where we were always being deployed. Okay, so we were always basically considered on wartime status. Alright. Now, when we would get the call, we had to be on the plane and in the air within 2 hours. And, depending on the mission, whatever it was, we were told...
You mean assignment, Rick?
What's that?
I said you mean the company assignment.
Right, that I was assigned to at the time.
It's always been a company. It's always been a corporation, whether it was when you served or these guys are serving now. It's always been for the company.
Well, I understand that now.
Right. Just saying, if you know now, follow what it is now. Is my whole point. You went on a company mission. Go ahead and finish your story. I apologize for interrupting you.
You're fine, man. You're fine. But we were often told that we could not interfere, or we basically had to ignore, because it was just about the mission. Now, yeah. So I believe these soldiers, when they say that they were told to turn a blind eye, I believe them. I believe that they were told to ignore what they saw, no matter what their feelings were. Okay, because,
Of course they were. That was not their mission, was to go over there and change the culture of child rape. Their mission was to go over there and get control of the fucking hell. Let's be right down honest about it. They didn't give a shit about those kids. They give a shit more about those poppy plants than they give about those kids being raped.
Right. Well, at least...
Let's get right on down to it. That's not part of the company assignment.
Right. But,
That's what pisses me off the most about it, man.
Well, it's definitely aggravating to know that standard operating... I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I said, go ahead and read the next article about the decorated officer that shot like 10 or 12 years in the military. They're forcing him to resign over the shit.
Well, that's what this next article is about. And, this is off the WashingtonPost.com. And I am posting it on the pages now. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Alright. So, one more page here. Oh, there we go. Alright. So this is by Lolita C. Baldor from the Associated Press, off the WashingtonPost.com. The Pentagon and the White House has condemned on Monday. The Pentagon and the White House condemned on Monday reports that Afghan forces who worked with U.S. military personnel sexually assaulted boys, and members of Congress complained about a U.S. soldier being forced out of the military because he intervened in 2011, attacking an Afghan police commander he believed was raping a child. Representative Duncan Hunter, Republican of California, and others questioning whether the U.S. military routinely discouraged troops from intervening in such sexual assaults. Hunter and Army Sergeant First Class Charles Martland must leave the Army by November 1st because his intervention to stop a child rape triggered a negative mark on his service record. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, man.
We're going to be in bed with the pedophile who's going to kick you out. Thanks to the service, get the fuck away from there.
Sergeant First Class. Okay, Sergeant First Class. So that means that this dude has been in the military for a minute. Well over 10 years.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay, so, he's probably on the 15-year mark somewhere that this dude's been in the military.
15, brother.
And so you're trying to tell me he has to leave because it triggered a negative mark on his service record. One negative mark? Oh, boy, I would like to see the rest of his service record. It must be horrible.
If that caused a bad mark, yeah, this guy must not. You got a question is, how the hell did he get so much rank if he had that horrible of a record?
Right? Exactly.
They don't just pass that shit out, buddy.
No, they don't. Wow, okay. Hunter is asking Defense Secretary Ash Carter to review the case, saying he has little confidence that the Army leaders will admit they made an error in deciding to punish Martland. I hope that when making a decision between supporting the elite warrior like Martland or a child rapist and criminal, the organizations or individual in a position to make decisions will side with Martland, Hunter said in a letter to Carter earlier this month. Defense officials would not comment on the specifics of the case, but Navy Captain Jeff Davis, a Pentagon spokesman, says the U.S. has no policy directing forces to overlook human rights abuses. Davis told reporters on Monday that U.S. troops can report such incidents through their chain of command, but added that sexual assault of children, while abhorrent, it's fundamentally an Afghan law enforcement matter. So what they're saying there very nicely is, don't come to us with that. It's an Afghan matter. We don't want to know about that.
The whole country's fucking little boys, and our business is getting the drugs out of there, not the fucking little boys.
Right. So...
And you know what? He wasn't lying. They don't have a policy to intervene. They don't have no policy. You can intervene. They have a policy that you can intervene. All you can do is report it. It ain't nothing going to be done if you report it. In fact, if you do, you're causing the problem.
Yeah, Mr. Mark Dean, he's on the chat board, and he's like shaking my damn head because he Orland decided to take action. What a damn shame that he's getting kicked out. I mean, it really is, man. And then on his next post, he puts down morals. You know, and
This company, man.
it does come down to morals. You know what? I'm sorry. How do I put it? All right, yes, we are there on a mission.
Hold on, man. Hold on, Rick. Retract that fucking apology. We don't apologize for shit on this show.
You're right.
Retract it now.
Oh, okay. I retract that. I do.
Here you go. Now say what you were going to say.
Oh, man, what was... Oh. All right, well...
I screwed you anyway, you didn't I?
Okay, so the rest of this story is basically... It goes on and talks about that last article that I read to you guys. So I'm not going to go through the rest of this article because... Go back to the last story and you'll...
Well, the reality of it is their main mission is to get over there and get them to grow poppies. They don't give a shit about schools and making them teach the ladies how to go to school or allowing women out of the birthdays. No, they have no interest in that. Their main focus is to dealing with the warlords and the drug lords and getting the poppies growing and getting them out of there.
It's a sad thing.
So, I mean, we're seeing it more and more. That's all their interest is. That's their mission. First off, it was to get Bin Laden. Well, if Bin Laden is gotten, and then I do put the if in there, if Bin Laden has been gotten, why don't we get the hell out of there?
No, hey, that's a legitimate question.
98% of the world heroin production. That's why. I mean, let's not quibble with the facts, though.
Right.
2% of the world heroin production when the Taliban controlled Afghanistan. Today it stands at 95 to 98% production of the world heroin production.
Damn.
And then you look in the streets every day of the United States, you see more and more heroin, more and more heroin overdoses.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on the rise.
It correlates, bro. We went into Colombia and we shut them down, and we were in control of the cocaine fields there up until the time Colombia kicked us the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up a story right now. You kind of jarred my memory about an article that I had read about the DEA.
Well, I mean, you know, this shows a pattern, man. We went to Vietnam because of the heroin. It wasn't because people used or anything. And the American people, which I'm just as disgusted at, we buy into that, support the troop bullshit. You know, I'm not saying that I don't support the troops. Do not get that fucking confused, folks. What I'm saying is it's a corporate fucking war, and it's going to continue until we stop it. And it's going to be perpetuated upon us because they've been calling us terrorists. They put us all on lists, folks. When it started over terrorists and terrorism, and old Georgie Boy Bush said it best, if you're not with us, you're against us. Well, I'm not with this shit of raping babies and shit.
No, hell no, man. I don't care, you know. I mean, even though I would like to think that the soldier of today is not too different than the soldier of yesteryear. Okay, where, yes, all right, we did go on our mission. We did have a job to do. All right, but we had morals when we went there. All right, I took my morals and my values with me. All right, I did not forget them at home.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, man. Let's get back a minute. You say that, but then we go to the record. The record is there was some of you over there that was killing women and children in whole villages. Just for the sake of fucking killing. Okay?
I saw those videos, and they were heartbreaking.
And I'm not saying that each and every soldier in the war today is bad. Okay? What I'm telling you, what I'm trying to get a point across is that by now the truth is out. These kids that are signing up, they know what they're going to fight for. They're going to fight for Halliburton, Standard Oil, and all these other fucking deals. They're not going to fight for freedom. I dare a motherfucking foreigner to come over here and start some shit. Look at that Texas boy. That Texas cop killed 2 of them with body armors and AR-15 with a Barney 5.6 shooter. Ah! But anyway, you come fucking with the United States, they're not fighting for my freedom, dude. Let's get that out of the way. Okay? And nowadays, being a patriot is fucking being turned into a crime. So what are they really fighting for? They're fighting for the Corporation of America, which is in turn the military-industrial complex.
Well,
It's not for us, it's not for freedom.
right.
Or the drugs now, we're seeing now with the evidence that we're fighting for drugs. Well,
No.
we got a war on drugs in this country, a war against our own people that, there again, it goes back to they're going to make us the enemy, folks. They made me a long time ago when they declared a fucking war on drugs. A plant that I consider a sacrament given to me by God. So I know already about the feeling of being declared the enemy.
Right.
They just didn't start shooting me yet. But they're coming. I know they're coming. Everybody fucking can look around and know that we're the next on the list. And if you're not, you fucking should be by now.
You're right. You better be on some type of list by now. Well, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, Patrick.
I said, did you find that article?
Oh, no, I started getting into our conversation there, man, and I quit looking, actually.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about. It's talking about these subjects that nobody else wants to discuss.
Right.
Because this shit's happening. This shit's going on around this world. And it's usually in the name of the United States government, which is in turn in the name of we the people, folks, because the people around the world only know us as Americans. And how they know us is our fucking flag is on the bombs and the airplanes are dropping. You know? I'm not against bringing in refugees, but do we have to bring only men and boys? That's what I'm noticing about these Syrian refugees. They're all men and boys.
Really?
Is it more of an invasion rather than a refugee situation? We have to stop and look at that as well, folks. And I know that's another topic for another day, but just gives it a little seat-bank thing to put in your head to start thinking about. We've already absorbed a lot of Mexican nationals. I don't even want to call them nationals because they're illegal. They just came here. They didn't follow the process that this country is supposedly established for immigrants and things to come here. That means they're illegal. We cannot go there and say America accept the same thing that they do. That's what makes them illegal. If it makes them right, then we can't do what they did here in their country. No, not necessarily, but that's the world we live in.
Well, why?
The United States is encouraging the behavior that we're seeing, either through attack or by benefits, to invade and overtake the United States as we once knew it. Now, call me a nationalist and fucking all that crap, but remember one thing, folks, I made it. This fucking place was stolen from me to begin with.
Well, why would they do it legal when they know all they got to do is wait around for an election year and then they'll get amnesty around here?
Well, I'm not saying, I've said for years, man, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. We got a lot of Mexicans down there, and I know a lot of great ones. I know a lot of hard-working, good family men. that they had no choice but to come here because they was absolutely nowhere. They were stuck to sell chiclets at the fucking border, if you will.
Wow.
But they got over here and they worked every day. They supported their families. Yeah, they drank their ass off on the weekend, but come Monday morning and all through the week, their house was quiet. They worked. They supported their family. But we didn't have an Ellis Island to the west. We never had. What we've offered them is fucking immigration, a wall, and we didn't even offer them immigration. We offered them border patrol and law enforcement.
Right.
Instead of offering them an honest, legal way to get here. So I understand that side of the play, and I'm not blaming them as a whole.
Oh, no. Huh.
So we see a whole process, albeit not a good one. There is a process of becoming legal American citizens. And by the way, fucking Yakov Smirnoff, I was listening to some of his jokes the other day, and he reminded me really what makes this country what it is. No other country in the world can you go to and become one of them. You can't go to Sweden and become a Swedish person. Now, I don't care how long you live there. You can't go to France and become a Frenchman. You can't go to fucking nowhere. Like you become the United States and become dedicated to the country, take the citizen's test, and be declared a fucking American. I mean, we don't make it absolutely fucking. You can't become an American, but let's at least consider what made you want to come to America. So that's just my rant. I mean, I'm just seeing all these refugees, and yeah, I got a heart. If we had men, women, and children and families, then maybe I'd have more of a heart. But all I'm seeing is boys and men. But we're not talking about young boys. We're talking about teenage boys. So we need to step back and look at that, folks. But anyway, go ahead, man. That's just another side. That's just another topic.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Why? Because I can't seem to find this damn article, but we're getting close to the time for a break here, real quick. But when we do come back from the break, let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about some of these big pharma companies that are charging exuberant prices.
Well, let's step back, man. It's not a big pharma company. It's one guy, one hedge fund guy that bought the rights to a pill that is very, very, very integral to AIDS and HIV treatment. And this comeback raised the cost of the pill from $13.50 to go over $750 for one pill. This is greed and corruption at its finest. And this guy is getting applauded for capitalism. So,
well, we got
there's a little meat nugget for y'all to think about while we go to break.
Yeah, because we got a couple of stories on a couple of different pills that are, life-saving pills, but basically the same thing. They are pretty much you're going to pay out your butt to survive. So, but look, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to go ahead and get into those stories. So,
I'd like to thank y'all for listening to Let's Talk About It.
Right. This is Let's Talk About It on 710 Radio, month 22.9 here in Denver, Colorado. And we will be right back, guys.
LMW Agency. That's LMW Agency. It's the home of One Blunt Radio. It's the home of 710 Radio. It's the home of Cannabis University and Cannabis Museum. Yes, you can contact us at lmwagency1@gmail.com. It's the home of Olympic Newts. Yes, it's the home of Moth229.com. Moth, medicine of the herb. You can find Olympic Newts right now in stores like HTG Supply, like Grow Depot, like the Speak Easy Vape Lounge in Colorado Springs, heading to Humboldt County. LMW Agency, the home of Blunt TV, cable TV, coming soon. Take this moment and grow big like a pro. LMW Agency presents Olympic Newts. That's Olympic Newts, all-in-one organic nutrient. You can grow big like a pro, from beginner to a pro. It is the most affordable nutrient to hit the streets, with the most power to its punch. It has definitely got an X-Cup win under its belt. It is definitely highly in demand in Colorado. You can get your own Olympic Veg, Olympic Bloom, and Olympic Bloom Blaster. Oh my God. Growing big ain't easy, but now it is. We have changed the game. You can go to canna-olympics.com and you can find out more about Olympic Newts. That's Olympic Newts, all-in-one organic nutrient. Oh, it's the best pack of the power for the punch. You can grow big like a pro. Olympic Newts.
Whatever you want to.
All right, guys, we are back, man. This is 710 Radio Mile 22.9, and let's talk about it. All right.
And I'm Patrick Partridge, and that's Rick Wainwright. And he's got another story. He's got a story that if it don't make you mad, you don't have no sense. And I hope you got nobody ever going to get sick in your family.
Right, because, well, first, I'm posting the stories now. This is off www.aura.tv. This first one, and
yeah, that's Jesse Ventura. That's Aura.
Yeah, that's Jesse Ventura one. We're gonna start off with that one right there.
That's awful great.
But anyways,
Ventura.
Yeah, this is the drug company raises price of Daraprim from $13.50 per tablet to $750 overnight. This is by Jen Hobbs.
Right, folks.
Right?
If you had your prescription in that night and then you went to go pick it up, you got sticker shock.
Yeah, well, this one and the next story are gonna fucking make you drop your jaw. So, all right. In 1955, Jonas Salk, who owned the patent to the polio vaccine, was asked why he decided not to patent it to make money off of it. He said, "Well, the people, I would say, who own the patent, there is no patent. How could you patent the sun?" If you ask the same to the CEO of Turning Pharmaceuticals, the answer would undoubtedly be, feel free to charge the patients whatever price you desire because people who want to live will find a way to pay. According to USA
Is that a sick statement or what, folks?
Right? Wow. I mean,
get your head around that one for a few seconds.
That because people who want to live will find a way to pay. Wow. Where's the values or your morals there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of takes you back and takes your breath away when you hear something like that, huh?
Right? Well, according to
it did me when I read it. It did me when I read that this last week. I was like, what? Did I read that right? Let me give this guy the benefit of the doubt and reread them words.
Right.
When I read it, I thought, oh my God! Not only is he preying on sick people, but he wants to bleed them fucking dry before they die.
Yeah.
And not only them, but obviously their friends and family, because they'll find a way to come up with the money.
Right? Oh, they'll find a way to pay if they want to live.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good, man. So, according to USA Today, Turning Pharmaceuticals recently acquired a drug that treats a common parasite that attacks people with weakened immune systems. The company increased the cost of the pill by 5,000%. Previously, the medication was $13.50 per pill. It is now $750 per pill. The company also has exclusive rights to market the drug.
That means no generics are available.
Right. Known as Daraprim, primethamine. It has been the only drug to fight this type of parasite since 1953. Wow. So what does Daraprim do, and what happens to you if you don't take it? Well, USA Today reports the drug fights toxoplasmosis, the second most common foodborne disease. People whose immune system have been weakened by AIDS, chemotherapy, HIV, or even pregnancy can be infected easily. Mothers can also pass the toxoplasma parasite to their children during pregnancy. Organ transplant patients can get it through an infected donor. Symptoms can feel flu-like, but the parasite attacks the brain and can lead to blindness or brain damage. According to the CDC, the parasite comes from eating undercooked meat, cooking with contaminated knives and boards, drinking unclean water, and contact with infected cat feces. Up to 3 billion people in the world are
In other words, there's another reason I'm not a cat person.
right? Up to 3 billion people in the world are infected with this parasite. About 60 million people in the United States may carry the parasite, according to the CDC. New cancer drugs now routinely cost more than $100,000 a year. A brand name hepatitis drug, Sovaldi, cost $84,000 for a 12-week course of treatment, USA Today reports. Treatment for serious diseases, one that makes the difference between whether people can see or don't see, should be readily available. I agree. Now, due to the price, hospitals are considering alternative therapies that may not have the same efficacy. Dr. Judith Aberg, chief of the Division of Infectious Disease at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, said in a news release for the American Pharmacists Association. This is because patients, even with insurance, could have trouble affording the medication. Most insurance companies put high-priced drug in the specialty category, which means the bulk of the cost is paid by the patient. Patients whose insurance plans require them to pay 20% of the cost, a common practice, would sell out $150 a pill. USA Turning Pharmaceuticals claims the money it makes from the sales will be used to further research treatments for toxoplasmosis. They also plan...
Okay, hold on, right there.
Okay.
Shouldn't we remove all the grants from the National Institute of Health? Because that's supposed to be what those grants go for, is to research for new drugs. Okay? We finance 2/3 of the research for new drugs that goes into tax money grants. All right, and then these companies retain the patent on these fucking drugs, and we, the people that finance the research to come up with those drugs, they rape us twice, dude. Man. These don't make you had nothing with. Come on, man. What part of Affordable Health Care Act does this fall under?
Right. Well, they also plan on investing in marketing and educational tools to make people more aware of the disease. Do you buy into that? I don't.
No.
I don't.
Everybody's aware of AIDS. Everybody's aware of HIV.
Right.
So what are you doing? Preaching to the choir?
I mean, did we not do a show about these places that do these research, like the cancer societies getting busted for corruption? And didn't we do a show on that? And these guys want to...
What we need to do, Rick, we need to start an organization that helps these people pay for the pills. And we'll help them by giving them $5 onto their pills. That really don't help them, but we'll keep the rest of the money for us. Oh, fuck, man. I mean, what? Dude, when did we go to sleep and wake up into the fucking... where humans are the enemy?
Right.
I'm lost, man. Where in the world of morals, laws, and otherwise that this can even be remotely right? We're not even getting into the legal matter of the pursuit of happiness and all these great fucking things that these countries were built upon. This guy in one fell swoop says fuck all of that. I'm going to be greedy and I'm going to fucking kill people in the name of money.
Well, I tell you what, guys, for anybody listening, if they do happen to have this parasite problem, please get a hold of me and I will help you out.
Yes, please,
okay?
Please.
I can help you out and get rid of these parasites for you at a substantially amount less than what we're even talking about on here. So, I mean, please.
For a donation, Rick. Let's be honest. These people are already fucking broke and can't afford nothing.
Right. No,
by the time they get beaten down by a fucking parasite, come on, man.
Right,
Come on. It ain't about money. We're talking about fucking human life here.
We are.
Folks.
I'm telling you.
We're not talking about money. Fuck.
Well,
when can we get our head wrapped around that? That they're staying much more valuable than fucking money.
Well, you are right.
Money that don't even belong to us anymore. Fuck. Everybody's got a dollar price. Everything's got a price tag. Fuck. What about helping people in the name of humanity? Just because we fucking can. Just don't see that no more. Just don't see it no more. If they got enough money there, they got enough money here. Right on. I just, man, I'm lost at the fact that this guy is being applauded in capitalist Wall Street circles for his capitalist mind without giving a fuck about the human lives that is going to die because they can't afford it.
Oh, well, if that story got your blood boiling, this next one should really get your blood boiling.
These stories have been fucking blowing me up. I have to try to see one. Yeah.
Well, that one's next. So
that is kind of close to home.
Well, it is for me because, you know, I mean, I've had hepatitis C. I had. Okay. Now,
I have it. I've had it since 1988.
Yeah, it's been a minute for me, too.
Full disclosure.
So, all right. Let me just post one more here. All right. So, all right, here we go. So this is off of WBR.org, NPR, and this is by Richard Knox. All right, now this is $1,000 a pill for a hepatitis C spurs debate over drug prices. All right, federal regulators this month opened a new era in the treatment of a deadly liver virus that infects 3 to 5 times more people than HIV. Now the question is, who will get access to this new drug for hepatitis C and when? The drug Slavati will cost $1,000 per pill. A typical course of treatment will last 12 weeks and run $84,000, plus the cost of necessary companion drugs. Plus the cost of necessary companion drugs. So we're probably looking at over $100,000. Some patients may need treatment for twice as long. So now we're looking at $168,000.
Yeah, Rick. Hey, I was on interferon for 2 treatments, 2 cycles. Because normally they're only 6 months. I was on the ribavirin treatment for 12 months.
Okay.
And yeah, it beat it down to where it was undetectable for blood test while I was on the medication. But when I quit taking the cycle, it came back. So, yeah, if these people have to go through 2 cycles, you're looking at upwards of $200,000 to $250,000.
Woo! Wow. I hope you got that laying around.
No, bro.
Well,
by the time you get to this point, they don't have that money.
Right. Well, hepatitis researchers call the drug a landmark in the treatment of the deadly infection. More than 90% of patients who get the new drug can expect to be cured of their hepatitis C infection with few side effects. Now,
I love it when they use that fucking word. It becomes more dangerous than you ever believe when I hear that word to me.
Yeah.
Well, you said chemotherapy and radiation cures cancer, right?
Right. Right.
And you know and I know that that's a load of crap.
Right. And well, it is. And trust me, that's another show within itself.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, we can go along the lines of all of these things you say they're doing, when in the end, we realize, did you read where they just come out, where our scientists admitted that there's cancer carcinogenic genes in these fucking vaccines?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
They're trying to kill us, Rick.
Oh.
I mean, the whole game is designed to break it and then kill it.
Without
And
us
so
knowing.
to do both.
Right?
Go ahead and read on about the hepatitis drug.
All right. So, curing hepatitis C has been difficult, involving regimens that don't work, as well as new options that bring on harsh side effects. More than 3 million Americans are infected with hepatitis C, and perhaps 170 million people have the disease worldwide. By comparison, about 1.1 million Americans have HIV, which has infected about 34 million people globally. What will it cost? The drug company Gilead Sciences, Inc. of Foster City, California manufactures Slavati, and some activists are beginning to complain about the company's decision to charge so much for the drug. For Gilead, we have outrage, pure and simple. Michael Weinstein of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation told the Business Wire. But Greg Alton, a vice president at Gilead, says the high price is fully justified. We didn't really say we want to charge $1,000 a pill, Alton says. We're just looking at what we think was a fair price for the value that we're bringing into the healthcare system and to the patients.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, ain't that nice of him? He's so considerate. But Andrew Hill...
It's a value.
Right?
Just a fraudulent.
Yeah, that's a heck of a value. All right.
That's what I'm doing now. Every show we do gives me a little less outlook on a future. I mean, the reality is, everybody, you and I, we got more days behind us than we do in front of us.
Right.
So what are we leaving for our fucking future generations when guys like this are fucking in control?
Well, yeah, it's kind of scary to even think about that. Because it's going to be a lot worse by the time they get to our age, you know.
Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Again, I interrupted. But that's part of this show. Go ahead.
You trust me, quit saying you're sorry. But Andrew Hill, a researcher in the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics at the University of Liverpool, says $84,000 to cure is too much based on his estimate of Gilead's cost to produce the drug. Even when we're very conservative with our estimate, the cost of course of the treatments would be in the order of $150 to $250 per person, Hill says. He questions whether the $84,000 price tag represents an actual fair profit. Hill estimated the cost of producing Slavati by comparing it to similar antiviral drugs used to treat HIV, which cost about $1 per gram to make. The amazing thing with Hep C is you only need a few grams of these drugs to cure the infection, Hill says. You need 10...
Whoa. Hold on. Mark your spot right there.
Okay.
Let's discuss this. Did we just not hear the guy say something about a fair and reasonable value at $1,000 a fucking bill?
Right.
And now we're hearing in the following paragraph that it costs less than $1 a gram to make. And at the most, it would take 2 to 3 grams to cure a virus.
Right.
Hold on a second.
$3.
Get out your calculators, folks. We're going to go rocket strategic surgery here. What the fuck is this guy thinking?
Right?
That's fair and then value? Oh my God, what the fuck? Dude, where are we living in? What? I mean, all right, I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying to figure where that's fair. It costs $3 for 3 grams, and this fucking guy's selling for $1,000 a pill. $84,000 for a fucking 12-week treatment. And that's fair.
$84,000 for a $3 treatment.
Huh.
Wow. That's a hell of a profit right
So
there.
basically, 3 months is probably 1 gram each month.
Yeah, more than likely.
Fuck around, Rich. We didn't go into right business, man.
Right? Wow.
And this is one pill, bro. How many pills are on the fucking market that they're gouging people that badly on?
Oh, man. Thousands.
Yeah, I mean, let's just get our heads wrapped around that. It costs $1 a fucking gram, Rick. This is why this makes it $1 a gram. And they're talking about charging almost $22,000 a fucking 21 or 22,000 a gram. Even a little more than that, isn't it? You know, you get my calculator. Fuck.
Right?
Let's get our head wrapped around this.
All right.
84,000 divided by 3. I know out there with the studies and I don't want to hear it in the comments.
I mean, what?
$28,000 for a month. Okay? That means they're getting $27,999 benefits a month.
Wow.
Off one person. Because you know they ain't going to fill them capsules with all that fucking drugs, and you got to put some buffer or cut in.
Well, you know, remember what he
You gotta
says.
spread out a gram over a month. So they buffer and cut it. Or it could be they put a bunch of powder in a jar and you got to put water in it yourself, like we did with the interferon, and we had to fucking mix it ourselves.
I didn't have to mix mine.
Well, I did. They give me sterile water. I had to mix in my fucking stuff.
Oh, wow. No, mine came in an EpiPen.
No, see, I had mine come in a powder jar, a little injection jar.
Uh-huh.
And I had to take sterile water out of one jar and put it in the other jar, shake the shit out of it. And that was my weekly dose. And it was just a little micro milligrams in the jar, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I could mix up one jar for 3 doses because I was taking them every other day.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you know, well, my point is, folks, is we're talking about one medication. How many medications are out there that the pharmaceutical companies are doing this to us with? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I shared with you a chart on how badly we in the United States are getting severely fucking raped on pharmaceutical medications.
Right, and okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and post that chart right now on all the pages. So,
Yeah.
because that was going to be my next thing to bring up.
Yeah, we can continue this discussion so the folks that are listening can get their head wrapped around what's in that chart. Because it's pretty amazing when you really think about the dollar amount differences in what we pay and what other nations around the world pay. And I don't want to get into a fucking argument that we're the richest nation. Yeah, we support so many other nations. We fund so many pharmaceutical research programs. No, I'm not going to get into that. Most of the medication is found and discovered here in the United States. We have the largest research budgets in the country that we find there in the world, that we are the financiers in the end because they get grants from the National Institute that is funded by American tax dollars.
Right.
Okay? So we fund the research for these fuckers to invent the drugs, and then we get raped and robbed when it comes to the final outlet of the drug when we need the drug. So
Well,
it's a vicious cycle that we in America is severely caught up in. Plus, we just happen to be the sickest nation in the world as well. Oh, is that a coincidence?
right. Well, let's go through some of these. Let's go through some of these costs, drug costs. Okay.
Let's do it, brother. Let's do that.
All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name the drug, and then I'm going to name what it costs in the U.S., and then I'll let you know what it costs throughout the world. All right. So, Enbrel. We all pretty much have heard of Enbrel. It's an autoimmune drug. It costs $3,000 here in the USA. In the Netherlands, it costs $1,500.
Ow! Hit him with it, brother.
Yeah, $1,509. In Spain, it's $1,386. In the UK, it's $1,117, and in Canada, it's $1,646. Celebrex for pain in the US.
I'm on this one.
What's that?
I said I take this one every day. 2 pills a day.
Oh, okay. Well, $330 here in the U.S. It's $112 in the Netherlands, $164 in Spain, $112 in the UK, and $51 in Canada.
$51, huh?
That would be nice, huh?
That would be a lot better. What the fuck's going on here?
Wow, this next one's pretty...
Continue, my man. Continue.
Wow, there's some pretty hefty... Okay, Capaxin, which is an MS drug, $3,900 here in the U.S. In the Netherlands, it's $1,190. In Spain, it's $1,191. In the UK, it's $862. And in Canada, it's $1,400. Cymbalta for depression, $240 here in the U.S., $52 in the Netherlands, $71 in Spain, $46 in the UK, $110 in Canada. Now this next one kind of blows me away a little bit. Gleevec, which is for leukemia, $8,500 here in the U.S. In the Netherlands, it's $3,321. Spain is $3,348. The UK is $2,697. And in Canada, it's $1,141.
I want to remind you one thing, folks, before we go very much further. This is not tied necessarily with the Affordable Health Care Act or the Obamacare Act. This is tied to the deal that the George Bush administration, George Jr., made that they can't negotiate drug prices in the United States. So it allows them to charge whatever the fuck they want to.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah, that's
you know,
well.
think about that as Rick continues with other drugs on the list. And I hope your family members or yourself are not dependent upon these drugs, because I realize it's very expensive.
Right. For Humira, which is an arthritis pill, $3,049 in the United States. It's $1,498 in the Netherlands, $1,498 in Spain, $1,102 in the UK, $1,950 in Canada. And then Nexium, which is an acid reflux, $305 here in the US, $23 in Netherlands, $58 in Spain, $42 in the UK, and $30 in Canada. Wow.
Oh. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, no. Wow.
What do you think about that shit there, buddy?
Man, we're getting screwed.
Nah. It's the American way, right? Even at the cost of health, we got greed before health.
It's a sad state of affairs we're in, that's for damn sure.
You know, they got a comedian that he said pretty serious shit. His name's Black. What the fuck? Trying to think of his first name. You know his comedian, last name Black? What's his first name?
I'm not sure.
Well, anyways, he says, he asked a serious question. He's not sure that it should be a profitable institution, a for-profit institution. Because we're seeing that when it becomes like this, I mean, we're talking about people's lives here, folks. We're not just talking about, fuck, I'm going to build a car and I'm going to charge so much for it that only the rich can have it.
Right.
No. We're talking about a life-depending drug, medication, that this greedy fucker says, because I can charge whatever the fuck I want you for it, and this happens to be the price today.
Well, like that one maker from that other, the one that bought the, on that other pill. If you're dying, you will find a way to pay.
Yeah. We're not talking about a yacht. We're not talking about a new car. We're not talking about, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about building a fucking new mansion. We're talking about people's lives here.
Right. Which every one of them is important.
I don't know, man. I don't know that people should be allowed to do this with life-saving medication. Now, I'm not for government interference. I'm not, man. This is where I'm torn about this, Rick. I'm not for government when it comes to life and death. There's got to be some interference. What, do we just go shoot this fucking guy? Because if we do, it ain't going to help. And don't do that, by the way. Do not. We are not advocating this man's death in no way, shape, form, or fashion on this show. And nor am I. Let's be clear on that. But I'm just saying, if we cut the snake's head off, then not the body will live.
Right?
So, I don't know, man. This is a very, very bad fucking precedent if we let this stand and we allow this to continue. The being ignorant to it is one thing, but exposing to things after you've already been told and showed is quite the other. And, that's what Rick and I are trying to do here is expose you to really what's going on. And it's not just one pill.
Right. Well,
we're showing and that's everything. It's that price chart that Rick just read off.
Well,
we are paying more than anywhere else in the world for health care, but yet we just passed this so-called law that said it was Affordable Health Care Act. What part of $5,000 a fucking month for medication is affordable?
Or $84,000
a pill, or $750 a pill. It's affordable. I mean, at what point do we say no? Fuck it. We're not going to allow you to do that. When did the people stand up and say enough is enough?
Oh, I agree.
I don't know. Our government's more willing to stifle fucking free enterprise and new guys coming in to create new businesses and create jobs. But this is somewhere where I think they should step in. Oh, but they won't because there's a lot of money in the pharmaceutical lobby. That somebody should step in and pass a law that says this is unacceptable. This is completely and fully unacceptable. But they won't because they're all beholden to the almighty fucking lobbyist dollar. More fuck.
Right.
So, but go ahead, man. We got another couple articles there in that cover.
Oh, well.
This one right here kind of got me depressed, man, because I feel like me and you just ran ourselves head first into the brick wall. And I want to thank those almost 350 listeners that we had last weekend.
Man.
It really shows that we're really doing something. But I just hope that this show gets as many listeners because it's to me it's more important. It's just as important, but in a way it's more important. Because man, this has got to stop. This is what we created this show for, is to expose the greed. And you can see that it goes all the way up the chain. This conversation, this topic involved government, it involved pharmaceutical, it involved individual, and it all wrapped up into greed. And, greed and corruption. Because you can't have one without the other.
Right.
There's corrupt motherfuckers when you're allowed to raise the price of a pill from $13.50 to $750 over fucking night.
Right. Now here's this.
I mean, I can see, dude. I can honestly see where the small mom and pop pharmacies couldn't even afford that because you realize that is the wholesale cost. That is what pharmaceutical companies are charging for you to dispense a pill, and then the drugstore's got to get something on that.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. You're right, though. You are right. Wow. So in reality,
because you know the pharmacists and them guys ain't fucking dispensing your pills free.
Right. No, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
So now you got little bitty small pharmacies in small towns. They ain't gonna have that medicine. They can't afford to put it on the shelf. They're gonna have to drive down to Walmart or Walgreens or one of the bigger chains and hope they got it. They may have to order it as a special item because it's too expensive to keep on their shelf.
Right.
Now we're talking about one bottle costing upwards of $14,000, $15,000, $18,000 because they got some of them big jars in the pharmacy have 2,000 pills in it.
Wow.
I mean, and pharmacies got to make some feet off dispensing those things. Just like the old saying, each step of the drug chain gets a little markup. I mean, now we're talking about just preying on poor people, and that's what they're doing.
Well,
this is a war on poor people.
Okay, so at the $750 mark, a 30-day supply is going to cost you $22,500 for that bottle of pills for that 30-day supply, and that's
what the pharmaceutical makes.
And that's not right, and that's not including adding the pharmaceutical cost onto it. So,
because then we're talking about like $3,000 for a 30-day supply.
So around 25,000 or so, maybe even more.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of money for that 30-day supply.
Just to live another 30 days.
Whoa. I don't know. Personally,
that's a new car, dude. You're buying a fucking new car a month.
Well, hell, for some people, that's their whole yearly income.
Yeah. All right, now, let's look at it. Let's say they got insurance, and they got to pay 20%. Still, that's $6,000 a month.
Yeah,
That's a mortgage house start talking. $6,000 a month to live, dude. If they got insurance and they got to pay 20% of that, that's $6,000 a fucking month.
Right, if it's at the $150 a pill.
Right. Now, no. Let's go $750 a pill.
All right, that was at the 22,000.
Right, but okay. And then we're going to add $3,000 on for the handling of the pharmacy. So that brings it up to $30,000. 20% of $30,000 is $6,000.
Understood. Okay.
All right. Now we times that by 12.
Times 12.
Now we're talking about $72,000 a fucking year just to live.
Right.
On one pill, and that's it. You know as well as I do, dude, every pill on the market has fucking residual side effects that always has prescriptions too.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely.
So if you're paying $72,000 a fucking year for one drug, how much more are they going to soak you for the others?
Right. Right.
Because this one pill, technically, this $750 pill, is an ancillary pill.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the one that actually saves your life. It's one that's needed to fight off one that could kill you.
Right.
So it's an ancillary pill to kill that parasite, but it's not one that's needed to save your life. But still, if they're getting that much for that ancillary pill, how much is the corruption going on for the rest of them?
I mean, that's mind-boggling when you really think about that question.
Hey, man, I told you I'm a big picture kind of guy. I take one piece of a puzzle and I look, there's a bigger piece here. There's a bigger picture here. And that's what I start thinking about when I start sending you those articles on the, and the deeper I got, it just wasn't this one guy. It wasn't this one hedge fund guy.
Right.
It was across the fucking board. It was, dude, anywhere else, this would be gangsterish. This is loan sharking almost. But it don't involve money, but it does. I hold your life in this fucking pill, and you're going to pay me or you're going to fucking die. Doesn't that sound like the guy that says, you got to pay me to big or I'm going to break your leg? And then I'll loan you enough money to go to the hospital to get it set?
Right, right.
I mean, dude.
Well, you know what? That is playing God as well, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's beyond playing God. Because God gives life.
Right. He healed the sick.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I can't judge these people. I can only say that me, honestly, I could not be a part of an organization, company, corporation, industry, or otherwise that preyed on sick people in order to make myself wealthy. Because eventually, all people are going to die, and then all you're left with is your money. And then when that runs out, what are you going to do? I don't know, because not everybody's fucking rich. And I pray to God, no one in this gentleman's family, or no distant relative, or a friend is in need of this drug. Because then maybe it'll smack him in his fucking face. But, those kind of people help each other out, so it probably wouldn't cost his friend nothing. But people that are a working guy or a working mother who got AIDS through a blood transfusion that needs this drug to continue on with their family, fuck you. You'll come up. You'll have to be a number of bank camp.
You're a piece of shit.
Can you imagine how many brownies and cookies you'd have to fucking bake and sell?
Oh, man. Right?
Come on, man. This is getting beyond ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Way beyond ridiculous, bro.
Reform is definitely needed everywhere. Everywhere.
And this is a show that already bitches about too much regulation and this and that. But, man, this is a place where I can almost justify calling for reform and regulation. But you know as well as I do, man, these same fuckers, the insurance company and the pharmaceutical company, are the ones that backhandedly and backdooredly wrote the Affordable Health Care Act. So, and then we famously got Nancy Pelosi say, we got to pass it in order to find out what the fuck is in it. So, I mean, they intentionally wrote it to not only keep us in the blind and deceive us, but to fuck us. Because the guy that actually wrote it is on recordings. I can't know exactly where, but I'm sure we could Google it for next week's show and find it, where he said it was the fact that the American people were dumb and asleep, and they intentionally wrote it and sold it as it wasn't a tax, when they intentionally wrote it as it was. Because if it was sold as a tax, the American people would have never bought it.
I remember that article.
Well, we're talking about motherfuckers that are intentionally writing laws to deceive us. And not only have they gotten away, but now we're paying the cost of that deceitment by seeing it right here. There's nothing affordable about the prices you just described there.
No.
Okay, and we have a law, supposedly a law, that says we have affordable health care in this country. So, at the very least, that sounds like a lawsuit against these raping, fucking, pillaging companies that think it's okay to play with someone's health. And it sounds like it possibly could be a class action. And it could go back to all the people that died that couldn't afford these fucking drugs. Hey, this is getting bad. I had a friend of mine literally today ask me, she's surprised and wonders why we haven't had revolution. And I explained to her, I did it in a short paragraph, but she caught it real quick. I said, fluoride in the water, pharmaceutical agenda for all children, GMO diets, we can go on and on, chemtrails in the air that we breathe.
Right.
Poor education. It goes on and on about the dumbing down of this country. And I believe it goes beyond dumbing it down. It's actually going to the point of actually deciding that they're working on killing us. Slowly so they can drain us of whatever resources and value we would have. But they don't care.
No, they do not.
I mean, all the way up into including the work that you would put out, the taxes they could get off you, the money they can get off you by getting sick and running you through the pharmaceutical and all that. Taxing you on your home, taxing you on your food, taxing you on this. I mean, just grinding a human down to where, from birth to death, they extract something from us, and it's gotten to be sickening, dude. And I'm not one to profess suicide, but I'm going to tell you, revolution and death will be welcome. Because I know I'm going to die on my feet and not on my knees. So I know I'm going to die. But yeah, this. I mean, you know, every week we come on here and we expose more and more. And this, you know, between this and the VA, which this ties into the VA, these two, man, these two are probably the most important shows we've done. The end corruption, this explosion of it, or the pharmaceutical industry. And we just tipped the iceberg when you really get into the rabbit hole of how deep this corruption goes. Because, you know, you always say follow the money.
Right.
Let's set up for this week. You and I, or maybe some of these listeners out here, will do some research. Let's see what legislator, meaning senator or congressman, took the most money from pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
And then, let's follow that up and look at how much money was spent by pharmaceutical companies on television advertisement to brainwash us. Because it's a twofold attack. They attack us through the television to convince us we need it, and then they pay the fucking government to, you know. So we got to follow the money on this, because it's not just this one idiot that decided, hey, I'm going to do this. It's a group of fucking high-placed people that convince him it's okay to do that. And ain't nothing going to happen to you. There ain't no laws against you doing that. So somebody got played on the Republican or Democrat or Independent, as they say now, because a lot of them are just turncoats that lost their seat as a Republican or Democrat and just decided to put an I in front of their name and run again.
Right.
So
right.
they're all beholden to the dollar and the corporation. I don't spend it on the party. So don't ever get confused with that either, folks.
Well, you would mention DEA. Now, I've got two last stories here before the end of the show here, and it's kind of like
them off, brother.
all right. It's kind of like a David and Goliath type of stories here, but it takes two stories to complete the one. All right, so this first one that we're doing is from IB Times, International Business Times. Let me get it posted up here on the page real quick. But what it is Oregon marijuana legalization 2015. DEA spends $60 for each plant to destroy each weed plant in the state where pot is legal. Now, I gotta give credit to the author of Michael Kaplan. All right. Many have scrutinized the price of the U.S. drug war, especially when it comes to taxpayer money spent to combat the cultivation or use of marijuana. While the price tag might be higher than many think, even in states where marijuana is already legal. The Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, is reportedly spending some $60 of tax money for each pot plant it destroys in Oregon. The Washington Post reported on Thursday. Although cannabis... Right, so for each plant, they're going to pay $60 to destroy it. All right.
Well, it's funny, dude. Honestly, I've got friends that live in all of those up there, the left coast. They live in so-called legal states. Well, each of them, man, they don't have no fucking car. They still get it the old-fashioned way from somebody they know.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that is because the system and the model that they've adopted over there is so fucked up and corrupted that they don't want to be a part of it.
I don't blame them.
Because honestly, they moved from here thinking that might be a cool place. But then they find out that motherfucking them over there are fucked up way worse than ours. And ours ain't right, but hey.
Right.
So maybe that makes sense to why there's so much DEA interaction. But doesn't this go against what supposedly the Justice Department sent out the memo that says they need to stop busting cannabis? Or was that just illegal, monopolized, tax-paying, high-dollar paying people?
To appease a certain crowd that were, complaining. So, it was a front that they put on. That was just a front speech. All right, so although cannabis has been legalized in the state, it remains illegal under federal law. So the DEA continues to fund police crackdowns on the plants. Authorities destroyed about 16,000 plants in 2014, costing the agency some $960,000. According to a recent report by local NBC affiliate KGW-TV, that might be a difficult number to process without any comparison, but nationally the DEA spent only about, now, come on, $4.20 on each marijuana plant it destroyed. $4.20? Come on now. In Oregon, much of the money reportedly goes to searching for marijuana farms by helicopter and then having police pull the plants out of the ground. About $275,000 reportedly went to overtime pay for police. I think the DEA's marijuana eradication program is a huge waste of federal taxpayer dollars. Representative Democratic Rep Ted Lieu of California told KGW, we have states like Oregon, Washington, and Colorado that have legalized marijuana, and then you've got the federal government trying to eradicate it. It doesn't make any sense. The DEA spends some $18 million per year on its marijuana eradication program, a nationwide initiative meant to target drug trafficking and cannabis cultivation. The program saw 6,310 people arrested in 2014 and the seizure of more than $27 million, according to its website. Although marijuana has been legalized in several states, the program has continued to receive funding across the country. Critics of legalization have said it would encourage marijuana use, while supporters have said it poses less danger than alcohol use and could help states boost revenue. Advocates have also argued that money spent combating marijuana without a proven risk to users or greater society is simply way too high. And that's the end of that story. Which, $18 million per year on its marijuana eradication program. And 6,310 people arrested in 2014. Wow. 18 million. Now, for a plant that they know that they will never ever be able to eradicate ever in their life.
Hey, I have to bring up some things that occurred here locally that ties into this. Here in the last week, we found out that we brought in more taxes than the alcohol people, the cannabis people do.
Right.
So that bought us quite a bit, I would think, of political clout, voting clout, because it shows not only do we vote, we do show with our dollars that if you do what we want you to do, we will buy it, we will pay for it, we will fund it. And then we had locally here in Colorado Springs an attempt to tie in A20 and A64 together by banning or putting a 6-month moratorium on new cannabis, medical marijuana dispensaries and facilities, meaning mixed facilities and cannabis clubs. They get an end around lack of due process, but in the big scheme of things, I can understand. We're wanting to deregulate like alcohol. It's what they voted in. I full disclosure before this. Full disclosure now. I did not vote it, but I was fucking because it's an amendment and it is right. All right. And funny thing is, you brought that up. That cannabis, they said it's more dangerous than alcohol. There was a guy that actually put it on record. He was testifying for this 6-month moratorium on all cannabis, medical or cannabis plugs or otherwise. He made a statement that cannabis is more dangerous than Tylenol. Well, we all cracked up in the room, obviously, 'cause we had like we had probably 60, 65 people there in the room, and then we had some in the overflow hallway. And then it was hilarious. The next guy that got up happened to own a MIPS. He's in the process of getting his licensing. But along with that, all being a MIPS, he has a master's degree in biochemistry. And who said pot smokers are lazy?
Right.
Anyway, she brought up the statistics from the CDC and reminded everyone again. Tylenol this year has killed 19 people. Cannabis, 0.
Right. So cannabis
now,
is still safer than Tylenol.
Back to the regulation of what they're going through, California and in Oregon and that. Because of the way they wrote their laws, why they're having the problem with the DEA and all. We don't have that problem because obviously we're constitutional amendment. But something happens statewide that's getting ready to go into effect that's going to affect our doctors. And that is going to be next week's show, by the way.
Right on.
They're going to be making the doctors that we go to get our medical evaluation and recommendation. They're going to be sending they're going to make them send us to have numerous expensive tests. Basically, they're going to have to be our regular primary doctor, along with us having another primary doctor. They're going to make it a specialty referral, basically. So unless you got a child with seizures or a wrist, because none of these will be covered on insurance again, by the way, they're going to make it very difficult for a sick person to get a medical recommendation, much less be able to get their plan. They're trying to do what they're doing. What they've done in Washington is to end our medical distribution system as we know it. Because 64, they said right in it, if we show you that we don't need medical, we can make more money. We're just going to end them. This hijack for MMBC and CHPD. It's coming to fruition to where they're effectively trying to end medical marijuana and medical cannabis in this state as we know it. They've already taken a hit against the caregivers. They're trying to attack the doctors now. First they sent out the letter about the 6 plants, which was only a scare. Now they're making it into law that the doctors have to refer you out. And, there's all kinds of things. And it'll be posted in the group this week so everybody can see that they are really, really trying to screw us. And we're going to have to be at the Capitol in November to try to fight them off because it's already went through first reading and passed.
Oh,
They
hell.
only took an hour or 2 hours, and it was on the same day they pulled the city council track here in Colorado Springs.
Oh, damn.
They did that with us at Colorado Springs with the combining that rule. But anyways, like I said, we got the moratorium on. They did the moratorium on the club, but we got them to split and not do the moratorium on the medical marijuana facilities. But the way they wrote it is they can effectively extend that forever. So the end of the end of cannabis clubs as we know them is probably done. They're going to be highly regulated and shit like that. They're going to become more and more like bars, and that's probably why we went to cannabis rather than going to bars. But
no, I kind of made that same comment just this past week.
We got one more article to go through. One more bit of news.
All right, so that first story that I wrote you about DEA, that was the Goliath story. This is the David story. And this comes out of off of www.eastbayexpress.com. And this is by David Downs. And it's Drug Wars End. Oregon is expunging pot records. And Oregon is taking the lead in righting some of the wrongs of the war on weed. On Monday, the New York Times reported on Oregon's leadership in expunging marijuana violations from their citizens' records. Even simple pot tickets can haunt somebody for the rest of his or her life, sabotaging job hiring and other milestones. So Portland's Metropolitan Public Defendant's Office is running expungement clinics to forever seal records of past pot crimes. The Times interviewed a 43-year-old mother dogged by a pot ticket from her 20s. She handed a bong to a cop more than 2 decades ago, and it has disqualified her from jobs, and she couldn't volunteer at her kid's school. Now no one will see the conviction ever again. No state has gone further than Oregon, experts say. Anyone with any low-level felony or misdemeanor on their record that's at least 10 years old can wipe their record clean if they have not reoffended. In 2016, more serious felony pot convictions like growing will be eligible for record sealing. One new law says courts must use the standards of current law. Full marijuana legalization, when considering clearing records, citizens who were under 21 at the time of their bust are eligible for fast-track records clearing. The Times note, clearing a record of past convictions, even in states where recreational marijuana have been legalized, remains controversial. In Colorado, prosecutors have wide latitude to oppose such applications and often do, and especially in cases which a person is faced with more serious felony charges like drug manufacturing, but plead guilty to a lesser offense like simple possession. California also faces the massive issue of people currently and formerly incarcerated for acts that might no longer be a crime. For the first time in a century, certain marijuana activity is fully legal in the state under new California medical marijuana regulations. Patients don't just have limited immunity. New license holder will be 100% legal. The catch is felony convictions, say for distributing marijuana, disqualify potential licensees. Yeah, but
always got the little caveat.
Right. So Senate Bill 643 reads, the licensing authority may deny the application for licensure or renewal of a state license if any of the following conditions apply. The applicant or licensee has been convicted of an offense that is substantially related to the qualifications, functions, or duties of the business or profession for which the application is made, including a felony conviction for illegal possession, for sale, manufacture, transportation, or cultivation of a controlled substance, a violent felony conviction, a serious felony conviction, a felony conviction including involving fraud, deceit, or embezzlement. That was in California. Any adult use legalization initiative that appears on the ballot will face controversy for either releasing people convicted of crimes that no longer exist or keeping them in jail. Groups like the California ACLU and the California NAACP are also working to ensure that former pot felons can get licensed in the legal industry. You know what? Far out, Oregon. You know what? Right on for taking the lead in this issue that needed to be addressed. And you thought outside of the box. You thought ahead of everybody else, and I commend you. So.
Yes. I have a lot of friends, like I said, that are talking about moving to Oregon. But then again, we're looking at, like, the two stories you just read, brother. You got one side where they got people kicking in fucking doors still. And then you got the other side where they're so forward thinking that they're talking about allowing the very same people that put Colorado on the map for the cannabis that they produce and the medicine they produce. Colorado saw fit and decided to write them legitimately out of the cannabis industry.
Right.
Because they got caught growing and had too much or whatever. Oregon is literally looking at it and going, why should those guys be disqualified? They have paid their debt to society. Let's move on from that. This is a new day.
Right.
I love it. They're embracing it. Like when I testified at the city council meeting this last week, I told them that you guys need to embrace it because it isn't going anywhere. You can be against it all you want, but the people are stuck.
Right.
So you need to either embrace it and get around it and get with it, or get left behind, because the last time I looked, you all are elected. And each and every one of these business owners that's come up here and testified, they're upstanding legitimate because their background said they have to be. So on these businesses. And, so it's time that we start, the cannabis community, start looking at cannabis business owners. Legitimate, upstanding people that pay their taxes, that do everything they're supposed to do. They're supposed to just start looking at running for city council seats and put these old curmudgeons out of a job.
Right.
If you don't like it, if you don't like the way the people want it, then you don't need to represent the people, because the people is the ones that put this into law. It wasn't some legislative decision. It was the people that voted all this into place. So if you can't embrace it, number one, you have to accept it. And that's what I'm seeing through all of these little laws and rules. Like I noticed here this last week that it was signed into Washington's legalization effort, the 509, was that kids caught with marijuana are charged with a fucking felony.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
You're talking about ruining a kid's life right off the fucking bat, why not? And then you're looking at Oregon saying, wait a minute, let's sit back from all that stupid shit. And let's take that away. You know, it's really weird. But yeah, it was written into the law. Now, aren't you glad those geniuses that wrote Colorado law, they used the same people's money, by the way, that didn't put that caveat in our fucking law. Now, I'm not encouraging that we allow kids to possess cannabis. But what I'm saying is it's fucking archaic to charge them with a felony.
Right.
So, well, here next week, we're going to do a few articles of national importance or international importance, but we're going to do a show on local. And then what we're going to try to do is set up a format to where we put a local corner, the things that affect us here locally in Colorado Springs.
Oh, right on.
So, you know, not Colorado Springs, but I mean Colorado and Europe. You know, because there's a lot of things that are going on that I don't believe that, you know, the people that we know these things that are affecting us, you and I, Rick, especially, you know, there's a lot of things going on that people aren't really realizing that are direct effects of them voting in age 64. I hate to fucking harp on this, but we wouldn't have the issues of the plant counts. We wouldn't have the issues of the medicinal extractions. We wouldn't have the issues of the zoning. We wouldn't have the issues of the DUID. Had the geniuses that wrote 864 put in one sentence. Medical recommendation holders these laws do not apply to. Which H20 specifically writes that patients, caregivers, or physicians, there's no laws that can be written against them. But then H64 hijacked H20, and in effect, because it was voted upon as an allowable change to the Constitution. These guys were geniuses.
Right.
Because they added sentences that would effectively change H20, but they left out the one that affected the most people that use cannabis.
Oh, most definitely.
Patients. They're geniuses, though, man. They're a lot smarter than we are because nobody has done.
Well,
I would have rather seen Michelle LeMay.
Right. Prohibit penalties for marijuana.
But they didn't even consider that one. The powers that be and the folks that spent the money. No, because they wanted to make money, and Michelle LeMay just cut out all of that bullshit.
Right.
A judge cannot accept the case. Period. See ya.
Well, Patrick, man, it's that time, my brother. And I hope everybody that's listening, man, enjoyed this show. Because I think it was a great show myself. I thought it was a great show.
I believe it was as well. But yeah, we're going to be working on formatting this to where we get to a lot of the issues that hit home. And we're going to do Oregon, California, Washington news. And now we can add the great state of Alaska.
Right, we sure can.
Because these are new laws and new rules that's going to eventually affect us or screw us. Because these are the places that are setting precedents on the new frontier called cannabis legitimacy legalization. So, stay tuned. It's a new frontier, folks.
Yes,
and
it is.
Let's talk about it. And I'm Patrick Partridge.
And I'm Rick Wainwright.
Thank you very much for listening.
Right, you guys have a wonderful week. Stay blessed. And you know what? I think I'm going to close this show out with a few songs. So until next week, man, you know what, guys? This is 710 Radio Moth 22.9 in Denver, Colorado. We will be talking to you next week. Stay blessed.
Be blessed.
What's up, my 710 radio listeners? Rick Wainwright here, and I want to tell you guys about a church that I am a member of and support fully. They're called Green Faith Ministries, NAC, and they are the nation's first and only state and federally approved non-denominational cannabis church. They've been serving the community with cannabis-friendly church services, educational events, and outreach programs. We only grow with your support, and our services are fully funded through donations from patients, patrons, and community supporters like yourself. Green Faith Ministries is a branch of the Native American Church and is a religious charity organization. So I ask you to please support our work with a tax-deductible donation today at www.greenfaithministries.com, because your faith with Green Faith Ministries is a match designed by the Creator.
TH Custom Promotions. That's right, TH Custom Promotions, your promotional product headquarters. It's the home of the branding man. Quality custom products you can't find anywhere else. I'm talking about you can get wonderful trays. You can get papers with your name on them. You can get 3-piece grinders, t-shirts and sweatshirts, apothecary jars, disposable lighters, caps and headwear. And you can get this all with the branding man at TH Custom Promos. That's TH Custom Promos, and you can find them at thcustompromos.com. That's thcustompromos.com. And tell them Can Olympics sent you. I'm different.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. This is my last resort. Cut my life into pieces. I reach my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong, would it be right? Ever took my life tonight? Chances are that I might. Mutilation out of sight. And I'm contemplating suicide. Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. I never realized I was bent too thin, till it was too late, and I was empty within. Hungry, feeding on chaos and living in sin.
I remembered each flash as time began to blur, like a startling sign that fate had finally found me, and your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean, let the floods cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between, let it be enough to reach the truth that lies across this new divide. There was nothing in sight but memories left abandoned. There was nowhere to hide, the ashes fell like snow, and the ground caved in between where we were standing, and your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean, let the floods cross the distance in your eyes across this new divide. In every loss, in every lie, in every truth that you deny, and each regret and each goodbye was a mistake too great to hide, and your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean, let the floods cross the distance